with a look at new video.
And the political storm President Trump created in a tweet about Puerto Rico. Chris?
Juan and Sharon, political storm for sure. But first, let's talk about the power of Dorian. It started out as a tropical storm. Now it's a hurricane. By the time it hits Florida, as Evelyn just mentioned, it could be a Category 2. Hurricane Dorian lashing the Caribbean with heavy rain and damaging winds. The storm's outer bands reached as far as eastern Puerto Rico, but the brunt of the storm's wrath fell on the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. That's when the storm strengthened into a Category 1 hurricane. It knocked out power and damaged buildings. It even forced the U.S. Virgin Islands governor to close schools and issue a curfew.
This storm is not to be trusted. It jumped all over the place and really started forming up at the west end of St. Thomas, and they really took a battering.
This video was taken in St. Thomas. You can see just how powerful Dorian is. The storm also lashed the Puerto Rican islands of Vieques and Culebra. But nearly 2 years after Maria devastated the area, Puerto Rico appears to have been spared a direct hit this time. However, signs of Maria's destruction remain, including some 30,000 homes on the island still covered with blue tarps, and about 1,000 roads are still impassable. Tonight, President Trump signed an emergency declaration securing aid for Puerto Rico, but not without insulting the island and reigniting a feud with the San Juan mayor, Carmen Yulín Cruz, and demanding credit for offering aid. Trump tweeted, "FEMA and all others are ready and will do a great job. When they do, let them know it and give them a big thank you, not like last time." That includes from the incompetent mayor of San Juan. He goes on to say Puerto Rico is one of the most corrupt places on earth. Their political system is broken and their politicians are either incompetent or corrupt. Congress approved billions of dollars last time, more than any place else has ever gotten, and it sent it to crooked politicians. No good. And by the way, I'm the best thing that's ever happened to Puerto Rico. The president once again alluded to the false claim that Puerto Rico received $92 billion in disaster relief following Hurricane Maria back in 2017. In reality, Congress allocated about $40 billion in aid, with the island only receiving a fraction of that.
I've taken better care of Puerto Rico than any man ever.
The mayor also spoke out.
The president has a vanity complex. He thinks everything is about him. He's a liar and a racist, and he continues to try to belittle the people of Puerto Rico.
As the hurricane makes its way across the ocean, the U.S. Hurricane Center says Dorian shifted in the general direction of Florida and could hit the state as a Category 3 hurricane.
You must have an evacuation plan. Be sure to fill your gas tank. Plan to leave with ample time to get to a safe area.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declared a state emergency, telling Floridians to stock up on a week's worth of supplies.
You get ready and that's it. You can't do anything more.
And President Trump has declared a state of emergency in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Again, Hurricane Dorian is expected to hit Florida by this Labor Day weekend. Juan, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Chris, thank you.